Kia ora, I'm Shelby, and today we're doing a quick story on Conrad Black. Born in Montreal, Quebec on 25th of August 1944, Conrad Moffat Black was a right-wing newspaper proprietor and biographer. At one time, he owned the Daily Telegraph, the Sunday Telegraph, and the Spectator in UK, Chicago Sun-Times, Jerusalem Post, that one was in Israel, National Post in Canada, and more than 400 local newspapers in North America. He brought his first newspaper in 1966, the Eastern Townships Advertiser in Quebec, and 5 years later formed a holding company with two friends to buy more newspapers. The death of his father in 1976 and his subsequent inheritance allowed Black to become a major player in business. However, he began to gradually sell off interests in manufacturing, mining, retailing, banking, and broadcasting, and concentrate on newspapers. In 2008, Canadian author John Ralston Saul wrote, quote, "Lord Black was never a real capitalist because he never created wealth, only dismantled wealth. His career has been largely about stripping corporations, destroying them," close quote. In 1985, Black invested in Ailing Telegraph Group in Britain, and in 1990 brought the Jerusalem Post. Black's company, Hollinger International, was listed on New York Stock Exchange in 1996. 7 years later, shareholders began complaining that financial impropriety was taking place at the company, in particular compensation and fees paid directly and indirectly to Rovelston's, which was Black's personal holding company, and Black's associates. The complaints reached the United States Securities and Exchange Commission's, SEC, and Black and his colleagues were accused of running a corporate kleptocracy. In November 2003, Black resigned as CEO of Hollinger International, and in December he refused to answer questions about business dealings before the SEC. In February 2004, he sold his stake in Hollinger and to David and Frederick Barclay, but the sale was prevented by a legal challenge. In February 2004, Delaware Judge Leo E. Strine Jr. said, quote, "Black breached his fiduciary and contractual duties persistently and seriously. I found Black evasive and unreliable," close quote. In November, Black was charged with mail and wire fraud and obstruction of justice. His trial began on 14th of March 2007. Bit of the aftermath was on 13th of July 2007, after the jury deliberated for 12 days. Black was found guilty in Illinois U.S. District Court of 3 counts of mail and wire fraud and 1 count obstruction of justice, and acquitted for 9 other charges. A chair went up in the Daily Telegraph newsroom when the conviction was announced. On 10th of December, he was sentenced to serve 78 months in federal prison, pay Hollinger $6.1 million and a fine of $125,000. You should know Barbara Amiel, Black's second wife, once famously said, quote, "My extravagance knows no bounds," close quote. According to Hollinger expense accounts, she had spent $2,463 on handbags, $2,785 on opera tickets, and $140 on jogging attire. Okay, so that was Conrad Black. There's a depiction of him there. I think he's a little bit older in that picture, but anyway, hope you enjoyed that story. Stay safe and please subscribe.